Trouble keeping up with the Joneses? I'm Jonathan Coachman. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Aaron Jones, no picnic a week ago. He's looking for another big game, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Green Bay Packers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
There's a look at one of the most iconic sports venues in the lower 48. Built back in 1957 under the title of City Stadium. We are at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the Green Bay Packers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Packer team as we enter play here. It's been a lost first month of the season, that's for sure, as they come in with an 0-4 record.
And the window's not shut on them, though. They still have a chance to make something out of this season, but it has to start right now.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones, and he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Packer first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
In a word, I would say productive, finding the end zone 3 different times.
Is it possible that you're really underselling it? 3 touchdowns, just going to call him productive?
What do you want?
This guy had a nose for the end zone.
He was good.
Had a snoopful, didn't he? How about that? Big-time game.
Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll be 4th down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Let's go. 30 base. 22 at the mark. Oh, here we go. Oh. Ready?
Throwing on 1st down. Herbert. And he fires one incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, but it'll be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Rashawn Gary leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6.
All right, partner, I'm going to be Captain Obvious right here. Not the start you're looking for offensively, right? Incomplete pass, followed by a sack.
And when he went down, it looked like that right ankle got turned, but thankfully he popped up okay, and they breathed a sigh of relief on that sideline. Airing it out, looking for Ridley. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, and their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And finding the tight end, Hooper. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. They'll try and run for it with Jones. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. That'll back him up 2 yards and also bring up 4th. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
The last run got 9. That leaves them with 2nd and a yard. They run, Devontae Freeman. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Here we go. Check 24, check 24.
On first down, Herbert. And his throw here's incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target. And now it's 2nd down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
A throw over the middle, taken in, and brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 15 yards, first down, Atlanta.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
On 1st and 10, Herbert. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Joshua Jackson there to knock that one away.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. Mecole Hardman, the intended target.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Devontae Adams, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Jones. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. 2nd down, a little more productive than 1st. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And Adams has it complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. Now a 1st down carry by Jones. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Back for the 2nd quarter in Green Bay. It's the Packers in possession of the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. A little eager there coming in from his outside linebacker position.
You think the hard count got him there?
Yes.
Maybe that extra that extra emphasis on it. Got him to jump, and they picked up 5 yards.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty. Rodgers now to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. The Packers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. From the 40 now on 2nd down. Rodgers. Now look out. Rodgers lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rodgers gives this to Jamal Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. heck of a broken tackle and able to work this down near the 23. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad. The Packers on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Now it's Rodgers. He's got his man, Valdes-Scantling. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. To throw, it's Rodgers. He'll get this one to the Golden Domer, St. Brown. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Equanimous St. Brown. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
When you give up a long touchdown drive, you're looking for a silver lining. In this case, it's the fact that your offense had a chance to rest, and now they can come out in the field charged up and ready to go.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And the lead grows to 10-0. This is taken at his 4. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Rashawn Gary able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. I don't care if you're taking it in round 1, you're undrafted, whatever. As a rookie quarterback in this league, you're going to have games where you face adversity like this.
Lessons. All the time you're going to face these lessons. The key for this guy is really be able to bounce back in the next one, because right now, this has not been his game.
Now this throw caught left side. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Mike 42, check. Mike 42. 80 weapons. Get it.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
You ready? Hey, wahoo!
To throw on 2nd down. Herbert, he's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley.
We got this.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now he's going to go deep down the battle for it, and it's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now on 2nd and 13, Rodgers, and that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes.
Well, they got off the field on third down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Set 30 base. Hey, Foxtrot, Foxtrot. 42. Go out. Check.
Here's 2nd and 8. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
Another dangerous throw there, partner. I mean, he's already thrown 2 interceptions here in the first half. I don't know if you want to keep throwing up 50-50 balls when you've had that kind of lack of success.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well could have been a 3rd interception in half number 1. He's got his man. That's Hardman. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. From the gun, Herbert. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Falcons going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. A first chance in the red zone for the Falcons now. It's 1st and 10 for Packer. Pressure, and down he goes. Za'Darius Smith just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. From the left hash, it's a 36-yard attempt. And Elliott puts this one through. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 3rd and 2, Herbert. And he gets this one to Ridley complete. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
5. Protein spill. No. Go.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. And that is incomplete here. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. Man open, it's St. Brown. He's got him. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A good pickup there, 22. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Throwing is Rodgers. Trying to get it to Adams, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Freeman again. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
70, Indy. General West. 5.
On 3rd and 2, Herbert. And that will be incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. 33 yards is the distance. On the punt there, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here are the Packers now to take over. They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here. So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. A first down run not going to get them a whole lot, maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9. Again, it's Jones, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Well, partner, I guess sometimes it's just a matter of philosophy. Some say run until they absolutely stop you, and others say, well, when you think they're about to stop you, fool them a little bit. I guess they should have tried to fool him on that play.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. On 1st down, Herbert. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Preston Smith comes in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 25 yards that time. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back to throw. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Preston Smith picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
The 2nd down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
88.
They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st. Got to give a nod of appreciation to some of those guys up front over on that left side. Several key blocks sprung him.
No appreciation for the guys from the backside that didn't allow any leakage and anybody could run him down from the backside.
They're at the kids' table.
Okay, so
touchdown, Packers! Equanimeous St. Brown with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start second half.
Let's go.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket up?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Rashawn Gary getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now, meanwhile, a final play here is incomplete, and that's going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Back now at Lambeau. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. Throwing on 3rd and long. Herbert. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer. Y'all playing the wrong football.
Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Looking to throw. Herbert airing it out, looking for Ridley. And that is incomplete. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. They'll start out here with a jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. To throw is Rodgers. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Devontae Adams. His first touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned into 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Topper!
From the gun, Herbert. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Hey, shoot!
Back to the air on 2nd down. Herbert completes it to Hardman. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. This is 3rd and 7.
Watch the screen! Get ready!
Operating from the gun. Herbert. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
It's caught. Jones. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first. Now a play fake here on first down. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan, and especially the execution.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Three butt.
Throwing again. Herbert. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game film from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 40. On first and 10, Herbert. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A well-executed 22-yard gain. And he's been one of their few bright spots here this afternoon.
And as you pointed out, so far he's gotten his. That's not been the issue at all. But the teammates, the other guys, they've been shut down. That's why the defensive guys have to feel pretty good, even though he's over 100 yards.
Yeah, he topped 100 with that last catch. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Mecole Hardman, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons cut into that lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
This one's going to be covered up by the Packers hands team. Well, for a second there, I had flashbacks to a few years ago, the NFC Championship game for the Packers, but here they're able to hold on.
And many things changed in Green Bay after that game. Personnel, people coaching, the whole deal. And in this case, they get it done. No fail like they had in Seattle.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's home.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
Rodgers now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's first and 10. Now Rodgers. He's got it. That's St. Brown. Touchdown Packers. 4 touchdown passes now for Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Here we go. Set. 60 or.
Let's get this ball back to the offense. Let's go.
Smith.
Throwing on first down. Herbert. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49. Off the play fake. Herbert. Finding Hardman here over the middle. And he's got this down to the 35. Of 13 and a first down for Atlanta.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. To throw again. Herbert. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Back to throw. Herbert. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Kevin King with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now that turnover might just about do it here. 4th quarter, the lead that you've got, they can just run the football, run the clock.
You're exactly right. They played smart, a couple of first downs, and this one should just about be over.
They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Rodgers. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The 30, the 20. A big play there on the catch and run. 66 yards. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
64. Hey, Sam off.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Herbert nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zadarius Smith in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Looking to throw. Herbert. And all this is taken him one-handed. What a catch. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
What a catch and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They get that little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
On the double.
Mike's 42. Let's go, defense.
Hey, wahoo!
Mike 42, Mike 42. It's our time. It's our time.
On 1st down, Herbert. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. He got 29 yards that time.
Ready. 50, plant.
42's the Mike. Hey.
Let's go.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Herbert. Mecole Hardman, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Boy, and now they can't even get a playoff.
Delay of game, offense.
Yeah, that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5.
Got it.
So 4th and 15, but the offense is staying out there to go for it.
Hey, Foxtrot.
On 4th down, Herbert. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Josh Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, insert... situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice.